What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today is a Sunday update. Let's take a look over here at the charts. Today's a big day. It's July 18th. We'll touch on why that's an important day. But in particular, I wanted to talk about the Bitcoin price chart, and I want to talk about several different altcoins over here because a lot of things are playing out on things that I'm seeing. We've been talking about the end of all of this corrective stuff wrapping up very soon. I do believe we're in there right now. I think we're going into this final flush that's going to happen right in here. And I want to show you all the things I'm looking at. I'm going to try to keep this video relatively brief. It's the weekend, but I want to show you the things I'm looking at. First of all, today is July 18th. We've been discussing this on this channel. It's been pretty much everywhere. Grayscale, unlocking, Bitcoin, all this fear. Is the market going to dump? Today's the day. It's July 18th. Tomorrow it's over. But the reality is it's actually for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. It's not Bitcoin. So it's whether or not we'll see this big sell off in Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, and will that impact the price of Bitcoin? The thing is, today's the 18th, the unlock happens. However, markets aren't open, right? The markets don't open till tomorrow morning for the US stock market. So will it kind of be one of these things heading into the opening in the first few hours of the trading session to start the week out? So understand that the date is here. We're now at July 18th, and do understand that this is for accredited investors to be able to sell off their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares. However, markets aren't open today for them to be able to do that, and that will happen tomorrow morning. One thing that I have found to be very interesting over here on Bitcoin is where the price level is right now. You can see that Bitcoin's over here battling against this 702 Fibonacci retracement of when the bottom came in on June 22nd. So nearly a month long of consolidation in here, pulling back into the 702 retracement, where we're having this big perceived as negative event occurring. Now, if you remember precisely, that's exactly what happened to the opposite side up in here. Bitcoin had its big fall from the top, so it hit its top, pulled back, 702 retracement. What occurred right here at this moment? Overwhelmingly positive news. Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live. To the moon. Super excitement happening in cryptocurrencies. As we pulled back to that retracement level, then the market flushed itself. Well, are we having the same thing here in the opposite way? Market knew that there was going to be, potential Bitcoin selling that could happen heading into this, and the market pushed itself all the way to the brink just for the event. Now here we are, July 18th. The event is over tomorrow after markets open and we see what they do with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. I wanted to show you where we're located at and how funny it is that you have this big wick come in here, this retracement back to 702, and it's at this exact time, right here, right now, at that 702, boom, we're having that perceived negative news. Same thing happened at the top. Pull back, retrace, perceived, incredibly optimistic news with Saturday Night Live, Elon Musk, right? But there's a lot of things I've been looking at over here. One of the things we've been talking about has been the Ethereum Classic price chart. And whether or not you own Ethereum Classic, I do own some Ethereum Classic. I'm not telling you should buy Ethereum Classic, but I want to point something out on structures because it's given us a really clear picture, is on these crashing structures or these final accumulation structures when we have the big final spring that comes in. I've shown this on the Dow Jones, I've shown this on Bitcoin, I've shown this on various charts, this exact same structure. I showed this happening with XRP during the SEC sell-off. I made an entire video dedicated specifically to this type of crashing structure, in which you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And within the fifth wave, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then for 6, we roll back up to 4 within 5. And then we go on to make the final move. I keep discussing that when I point out the inverse Bitcoin chart, that we have that same structure of what's happened over the last several years, that we have the exact same structure happening in here. And right now, the point at which we're at is rolling back up to wave 4 within wave 5. And that there would still be one more wave to go set a new all-time high. And even though that points down, it's because I have the chart upside down, but that there would still be one new all-time high. I'm still not a believer that we're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin, or that there's a 300,000 or 288 or 150, 160, whatever number you want to come up with, 130. I don't think we're going to see $100,000, but I do think that there's still going to be this new all-time high so long as this thing continues to play out like it typically does from the inverse perspective. But even looking on something like Doge, we could see that same thing happening up in here for Doge's price chart, doing the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give you your fifth wave. Where does Doge's price go to? It goes to the top of wave 4 within wave 5, and now it's heading on down to do its final moment. And then that's the end of all of this, assuming that all of this does play out. So what I'm getting at is it looks like the next, day or two is going to be a little bit volatile. But for those who have been with this channel, for those who have heard this argument so many times on how these structures look like when they completely finish themselves and how you get those finishing endings in there, and they've studied this crashing structure and how many times we've talked about it, this is it. This is that final moment. For the record, and this will earn me a bunch of thumbs down on this video, I don't have any faith in Dogecoin. I think in the bear market of cryptocurrency, whenever that is, Dogecoin will be below 4 cents. And I've been saying that since Doge was in the 50s and 60s and 70s, that I believe that Dogecoin will be 4 cents one day, maybe even 3.5. And that from an extension standpoint, Dogecoin has exceeded any reasonable expectations on how high it could have gone. It exceeded everything. So don't take this as me saying, hey, Doge is a great buy. I could see this bull market continuing for a lot of the altcoins that are lagging behind, haven't broken out into their all-time highs, or are back testing their all-time highs, or hit their all-time highs and are pulling back from them to break through them later, and Doge still never setting new all-time highs, and that the bull run for Doge could completely be over. That would not surprise me, and that seems more probable to me because of how high Doge has actually gone. But that doesn't mean that Doge can't reverse out of here and get some positive price action first. I just don't think it's going to perform as well as a lot of other stuff out there. So laying that out there on the table. But what we can clearly see is the very typical ending formation that's happening here on Doge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls back up into 4, goes on to finish, and then out. So if I'm seeing that over here on Doge, I'm seeing that over there in Ethereum Classic. It means we're seeing it throughout the rest of the market. We also have a lot of fear in the market right now. Final shakeout, final moment. When markets open tomorrow morning, that's when all the Grayscale unleashed. We'll see what happens with the market at that time. I could see like an immediate flush right at the beginning and then immediate recovery. The fact that Bitcoin is right down here at this 702 retracement at the exact moment of all of this happening after hitting that bottom, just like what happened up in here. Super epic, exciting moment coming in at the retracement, and then scary, negative perceived event happening right here. I just wanted to show you that I'm seeing all of these things, and they're all lining up to say this ending is coming, and it's coming very soon, which of course everybody has the question of when moon. I don't know. Soon, hopefully. Total altcoin market cap still holding all the Fibonacci retracement levels, the key Fibonacci retracement levels, right? Even the total altcoin market cap has not gotten back to that 702 just yet. But we're definitely hanging out within that zone. But I think it's important that we kind of zoom out again, and really everything comes back to my big picture of what's happening up in here. Right now, we're talking about 1 hour charts, we're talking about 2 hour and 4 hour charts, and what's going to happen in the next day or two, and trying to keep our expectations in place for whatever could come during this event that's happening. But in the end, my grand picture is that the prices are going to move up higher. We've watched this market do precisely what we've seen it do many times in the past, in which that it has a rally right before capitulation back in 2018 to finish off the bear market, and then it goes on to hit the full 4.236 extension based on that. And we've had that expectation on a lot of these altcoins leading up to that before that ever ended up happening. We got a perfect knockback, a large knockback. And in the examples that we have where this exact thing occurred, that's precisely what happened. Large knockbacks from this price point. But in the examples we have, the market does recover. The market does go on to set new highs. So my conviction is still sticking with that. It's impossible for me to change my mind on that unless something happened where the market went and lost its all-time high or something. Then that would be very different. But right now, I think a lot of us we've been going through this for a long time, right? We're at over 60 days of being in extreme fear, which translates into extreme pain. People are looking for a relief, trying to show you those structures of what it looks like when those finishing endings do come. And you can even see the structure over here at the very end of the 2014 and 15 bear market for Bitcoin, in which it had the very ending structure right in here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, creates wave 5, 6, back into wave 4, and then 7 to finish it off. Same structure right in here. That was the end of that entire corrective structure right in there. That's also what we had happen with XRP right back in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to 4 after completing 5 and going on for 6, and then heads on down for 7, and then done. And that these are the same structures we're seeing on here throughout the market coming up on these endings. So volatility probably expected within the next 24 to 48 hours, considering the events that are happening within the next 24 to 48 hours and where all these charts are right there on these types of correctives or these types of ending crashing structures and how they finish themselves off. We're right there at that ending point. So I look at all these things just to kind of know where I am, know what to expect, know that there's this big event happening right here, know that these altcoins are right at these ending finisher moves. The big anticipated negative news is today, and then tomorrow is where we see the results from that. And we know that a lot of times in markets, that markets will price things in before they end up happening, that markets will prepare for those events. It's typically the events that show up as a surprise, the ones that we call black swans, the ones that show up out of nowhere that cause the immediate scare. But it's when the masses know of something way ahead of time and everybody tries to prepare way ahead of time, what ends up happening? Well, you saw everybody thinking that the market was going to go to the moon when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live, all prepared for it, all longed the market heading into that moment. What ended up happening right when it was over? You know what happened. It fell apart. What's the similar situation here? We're pulling back to the 702. Everybody expects the market to sell off because a bunch of Bitcoin is going to be released into the market. So a bunch of people sell anticipating that the market's going to crash much lower, just like they all bought anticipating the market was going to go much higher with Elon Musk. We'll see what happens. When we come on tomorrow, we may be in the thick of everything, all the action happening tomorrow morning. But as the week progresses, things should start to settle down. And I can tell you, the way I think about things, here's how I'm thinking about this, right? So I'm fully long the market, right? I actually have less than 1% of my net worth in the equity market, like less than 1%. And of that money that I have, like in my trading account, like 10% of that's in cash of my equity account balance that I have. And even me, I'm sitting here thinking, tomorrow morning, do I need to throw that into Grayscale Bitcoin Trust? That's what's going through my mind. If there's going to be some dumb flush out in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, is that my opportunity to grab it with that cash that's just sitting in that account, in that equity account, that equity trading account? And if I'm thinking like that, I can guarantee you a lot of people are thinking like that. So I just wanted to show you what I'm seeing when things are really clear. I like to communicate that to you guys, at least when I perceive them as being clear. I like to communicate that to you guys. It is the weekend. I hope that you guys are doing well. This is probably going to get out a little bit earlier than most of my weekday stuff, which is cool because I didn't even start this till later in the day. But I hope that you guys are having a great weekend. I look forward to next week. There's so much going on. I was laying in bed last night, just hanging out, chilling, minding my own business, and just kind of scrolling through Twitter, seeing what was going on. I saw there was some meeting thing happening with crypto, and that several of the people in the XRP community were in there. It was hosted by Thinking Crypto, and I was like, oh, I'll click on this and let me go check out what's going on in here. And then I could see that my name was visible, that I'm in there hanging out. And then before I knew it, Thinking Crypto made me a speaker in there. And last night I had my first conversation with John Deaton, which was really cool, man. I've never spoken to John Deaton before. That was the first conversation that we ever had. He said he was geeking out meeting me. I'm over here geeking out meeting him. But that was awesome. That was fun. Unexpected. I was totally in my jammies, laying in bed doing that. So that was fun last night. I didn't even post about it on Twitter. It was kind of just like an Easter egg for anybody who just happened to pile in there and got to see us all kind of chatting in there. But otherwise, I look forward to this week. No matter how wild and crazy this week is, I look forward to it because a lot of events and moments will pass us by as the deposition of Bill Hinman happens later this week in the Ripple and SEC lawsuit. Gary Gensler's reply to Elizabeth Warren prior to July 28th. Bitcoin's at this 702 retracement. Dow Jones, is it going to break out into new all-time highs? This Grayscale unlocking stuff will all be behind us. And then on Wednesday, July 21st, we'll have the B word with Cathie Wood, Jack Dorsey, and who else is going to show up in that. So if you know something about my channel, in order to avoid burnout, in order to remain mentally healthy, I do like to take 2 days off every week. It helps me stay fresh. It helps to keep my mind motivated. And when I come on here and do these videos, I'm excited and I can think more clearly, and it's not me just putting out content for the sake of putting out content. So I'm going to take a day off in the middle of the week this week, and it's probably going to be this day. So I can just kind of hang out, do research, assess the market, and listen to this in the background. So I probably will be taking Wednesday, July 21st off to watch that. But otherwise, I will catch you guys tomorrow, and I hope that you enjoyed this weekend update. I hope that you're having a fantastic weekend. Let me go ahead and finish this thing off. If you guys would like, of course, you could check out my website over here. This is bcbacker.com. This is my course where I've deep dived into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the different altcoin market cycles. I tie them all together to show how the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency bull runs have worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans and I talk about mathematics and percentages in here. I also teach you how to set up your own charts and indicators within CoinTrader and TradingView or CoinTrader Pro, so you can kind of learn how to do your own charting within here. And this is all within this course, and you can check that out over here on bcbacker.com. It is structured very much like what my YouTube videos are like. So if you like what you see on my YouTube channel, it's very similar over here on my course. You can also follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.